We have Sudeshna Chatterjee with us, who is offered to read Aquarius Woman. I remember meeting her in 2011, and that's when I actually sent the book across to her. The reason I actually sought out, asking her to come and read is because when she called to acknowledge and thank me for the book, I actually instantly fell in love with her voice. And at that point, when I don't think I even had the audiobook in mind, but I decided when I got the opportunity to do the audiobook, that Aquarius Woman will be read by her. And she's been kind enough to volunteer, be here with us and read with us. Thank you, Sudeshna ji.
My pleasure.
Tell me, what would be maybe the two possible highlights out of the book that actually you felt, oh my God, this is where I got caught. How does Chetan know that I am like that, or certain things that perhaps only you know, or maybe your closest would know? Is there anything that I may have managed to capture there?
I loved what you have written about independence and the need for space. That fits in so beautifully. Okay. And within the restriction placed upon a woman who is a wife, a mother, a daughter, and I am, adopting all those three roles simultaneously at this age, and will continue to do so. I still need my freedom and my space, and have worked out to the extent that the rest of the family also gives me what I require, and relationships are built around our needs. In a family, when there is mutual respect for the requirements of the other, then it is possible, even with a Pisces man, to work out your marriage. And that's happening. And that space and freedom that I need, the independence that I need, is given to me.
Well, I'm sure
in every relationship that I am completing. There's one more aspect, that inability to express emotion, which caught me really. My mother is 70. She keeps very, very poor health.
Oh God.
And she's a Taurus mother. I think Taurus mothers want a lot of demonstrative expression of love and nurturance and care and all that. I take care of every need of hers, from the medicine to the comfort to the pillow to the lady who comes to massage her, and
right.
Every little detail is taken care of. Doctors are taken care of. But that demonstration of I love you and oh how sorry I'm feeling, those overt gestures just don't come.
Right.
There's a lot of silence therefore when I go back home after a hard day's work,
yes.
And she takes that amiss and is hurt, thinking that it's indifference, whereas on my part it is that inability to really talk about my feelings or my concerns for her.
May I share with you, it's just not the Taurus woman. Taurus man and woman, both are like children. They never grow up. They just need that constant attention and constant mothering and constant caring, and even if they got hurt here, I mean, it would become like I've got like cancer. That's how they start reacting, and they constantly want that attention. And
so I think now there's been a role reversal. You just said the mothering part of it. I agree with you.
Yeah, but it's something that
and it doesn't help when you're not a very demonstrative person, at least verbally, to show how much you love and care.
True. Yeah. But do you make that extra effort now that you're again been pointed out?
Now that I've been pointed out, that's important for me to take as a feedback for me to improve, and maybe reduce that feeling of hurt that does exist in our relationship. More importantly, because she lives with me.
But also knowing that it is not you who actually wants to do that and not express. But knowing that perhaps a part of being an Aquarius, your nature is such that you cannot do that, actually gives you a lot of relief. For example, if somebody is completely egocentric or eccentric, and then you realize that you don't want to be like that, you don't want to behave like that with people, but you realize there's a certain drive that just makes you that crazy and makes you behave like that, really relaxes you. I know, because I'm like that. And when I read Aries Man, from Linda Goodman, when I used to read, and then I started meeting more people and started realizing, I said, oh God, thank God there are more people like me. I thought I was the only crackpot around, But thank you again for being with us. Really, really appreciate that. And I'm sure you're going to read one more chapter for us.
Sure.
Thank you, Sudeshna ji. Thank you.
Aquarius, 20th January to 19th February. Aquarius Woman. Isn't there something just so exquisite about the cheerful, silvery streams of champagne that pour out of a freshly uncorked bottle? There is something so alive, so vibrant about the act that it draws one's attention immediately. That's pretty much the same effect an Aquarian woman has on people when she enters a room. Full of life and bursting with energy, she infuses everyone around her with her electric presence. She is peppy and full of laughter. One thing you can't help but notice is her incessant chatter. How this woman loves to talk! There's never a dull moment when she's around, and she is constantly hopping from one topic to another, giving her opinions and passing judgments freely. Aquarian women are by far the most forward-looking tribe. They have a modern mindset and believe in living life with a meaningful purpose. The Aquarian girl has the ability to dream big and realize those dreams as well. It's a game, set and match for this lady all the way. How can you identify an Aquarian woman in a crowd? An Aquarian woman is quite easy to spot. She is extremely chirpy and full of life. You will usually find her talking at the speed of lightning, involved in animated conversations or debates. A feminist to the core, she is a true original. At times, an Aquarian female will come across as confused. That's because she lives in two worlds, the real world outside and the one within her head. But on the whole, she possesses a great personal charm. What are the key features of her personality? I have found Aquarian woman to be very unpredictable. She follows her own train of thoughts. When expecting her to come dressed to kill for your social do, she can throw you off balance by making an appearance in a pair of faded jeans and a worn-out sweatshirt. Her active mind interweaves the past, present and future seamlessly. Possibly, these thoughts are responsible for her volatile nature as she mentally jumps from one idea to the next in split seconds, or can change from practical to head in the clouds in a snap. An Aquarian female has her own set of rules that she holds sacred. Not that she won't allow you to have your own too, but any infringement on her way of living will not be taken in a good spirit. Her feminism and need for independence makes her crave for space more than any other woman. She is highly opinionated and will hold her own no matter what. So if you're trying to impose your ideas on her, think again. She is not one to change her views under compulsion. She also hates to conform to rules, be it social norms or your personal peeves. She will always be one up on everybody. The highlight of her nature remains her unflagging optimism. No matter whether she is mulling over the past or thinking about the future, she will be optimistic about everything. An Aquarian female is a woman of purpose. You will see her championing social causes and lending support to the less privileged. But whatever she does is done with complete conviction and sincerity. She is idealistic to a great extent. I have also observed that she is one of the few women who knows exactly how to strike a balance between showing the right amount of authoritative and powerful nature with humility. She is also very mischievous and naughty, no matter what her age. Flattery will help you to go a long way with her. She loves to hear herself being praised and will instantly forget all your mistakes if you give her the right compliments. Most Aquarian women are also an incorrigible gossip mongers. These women can't hold a secret to save their lives. How is an Aquarius woman on the following aspects? Appearance. Appearance-wise, Aquarian women fall into two categories. The first are those who sport a tomboyish look from clothes to hairdos. This amounts to about 30 to 40% of Aquarian women. The rest are very classy, detailed and extremely fashion conscious, a true emblem of femininity. But whatever the type, their dressing style is non-conventional and non-conformist in every sense. Their daring attitude is evident in the way they dress up and carry themselves. Ambition. An Aquarian female is ambitious in two distinct ways. She is an achiever at heart and also craves for independence. So when she sets on scaling the ambition ladder, it is to reach the top position as well as attain complete freedom. Ego and self-respect. She has tremendous self-respect and ego. Depending on what age you meet her at and her maturity level, she will tactfully strike a balance with how much ego to show and how much to hide. Being extremely sensitive and touchy, she gets easily offended. When in such a mood, you are likely to get some crisp, tit-for-tat answers from her. Responsibility. She is responsible only to an extent and only where it is applicable. To her, responsibility is more towards her family than others. With friends and acquaintances, she needs to be in a certain comfort zone to do what's due on her part. But on the whole, she prefers to be footloose. Etiquette. With the tomboyish kind of Aquarian women, etiquette holds little importance. For the more feminine kind, the sense of social etiquette is strong and refined, and they pay minute attention to grooming and manners. What is her approach towards life? Substandard living is not her cup of tea. She has keen interest in clothes, perfumes, and all things nice. These comforts are necessary to make her life complete and comes from her feminine stance. Aquarian women are also less dependent on family and spouse and are capable of attaining the life they desire all by themselves. How does an Aquarius woman score on the following aspects? Cynicism. Usually, Aquarian women get over their initial cynicism as they mature. With age, they tend to grow more level-headed and look at things with a much clearer perspective. Although there still would be moments of fits and tantrums about things she must have or do and doesn't or isn't able to, but the frequency goes down. Suspicion and jealousy. Extremely suspicious. An Aquarian woman is quite insecure at heart. She will question and cross-question you till her suspicion abates, but that is no indication that she has entirely let go of her doubts. Naturally, the next step from suspicion is jealousy. Here again, her insecurity clouds her perception. However, I have come across a beautiful exception here. Aquarian women who are good-looking and confident about themselves are not easily bothered with such petty emotions. Dishonesty, infidelity. Dishonesty will not take her completely by surprise. Sometimes she almost senses it round the corner. However, with infidelity, it's a different ballgame altogether. She takes this subject very seriously, given her strong feminist leanings. But very conveniently, she reserves the right to have an occasional wandering eye for herself. However, I would like to clarify one thing. An Aquarian girl will never indulge in acts of infidelity without strong reasons, and even if she lands up in a compromising situation like an extramarital affair, it won't last long. Majority of Aquarian women are highly principled and will not try anything that might bring them social disgrace. Hardships. Used to enjoying the comforts of life, the Aquarian finds hardship rather cumbersome and annoying, and puts up with them only due to circumstances. But she is quite capable of overcoming hardships, working towards her dreams, and achieving them without being dependent on others. Success and failure. With success, the picture turns rosy for the true Aquarian. The feminine kind of Aquarian woman will prefer showing off her success rather loudly, while the rest of the water bearers will be subtle in displaying their success stories. Like hardships, they can't handle failure well either. If met with failure, they end up blaming others. But failure cannot tie down a true Aquarian for long. She will strike back with a fresh wave of energy to prove herself. Since she is capable of emotionally detaching herself from a given situation, including breakups, she finds it easy to move on. This attitude, coupled with her everlasting optimism, makes her a go-getter. Host. I have found most Aquarian women to be graceful hosts. The feminine Aquarian will take more interest in decor than food while hosting a party. While her table will be set to perfection, the contents on it are likely to be outsourced. As a host, she is a great show-off as well. The other category of tomboyish Aquarians may prefer cooking themselves, but are not very elaborate as hosts. Guest. When you have an Aquarian woman as a guest, she will run her eyes all over the place, take in the decor, table setting, food, and general milieu. She is extremely formal as a guest, and you will never find her arrive without gifts or a bottle of wine for the host. The catch, however, is she expects the same from her guests. How does she handle difficult situations? Any difficult situation like a quarrel or disagreement will bring out the nag in her. She will crib endlessly and if need be will fight, moan and groan to make herself heard. In angry moments, her anger will be like a storm that lashes at everything in sight. But this storm is short-lived. With around 70% of Aquarian women, this session lasts till they cool down. Once back in their element, they are able to kiss and make up quickly. The other 30% tend to hold grudges and find it difficult to let go of their egos and move on. But you will rarely find a vengeful Aquarian trying to get back at people who messed with her. I would like to mention an interesting observation about Aquarian women and grudges. They are so devoid of resentment that they belong to the minority of people who remain on excellent terms with their ex-boyfriends and ex-husbands. What is her characteristic weakness? Her characteristic weakness is that she thinks after she talks and can land herself in trouble often. The Aquarian woman possesses a fierce survival instinct that allows her to move on easily from a downslide in life. On the extreme side, this gives her personality a very cold and indifferent edge. Since she is not much affected by the events in other people's lives, as long as her interests are served, she does tend to be selfish, more so if it means compromising on what she wants. Though rare, but when our Aquarian lady loses her cool, she can hurl spiteful remarks at her target and be totally unrepentant of her act. With her ego in place, she would refuse to apologize even when she knows she's in the wrong. Her false sense of ego would also not permit her to accept her ignorance and she would do whatever it takes to divert attention away from it. She considers bending or apologizing only when she is in love. Is there more to this super-confident woman's persona? Her gift of gab that she possesses in abundance is actually a cover-up for lack of knowledge. She will spin instant yarns and talk nonsense with immense confidence to gloss over her ignorance. Her need for independence also makes her self-centered. Her attitude takes an inward turn when it comes to proving her point or getting her way. I have often found Aquarian women making adjustments to suit their ambitions and not bother about those around them. Another highlight of my observation about Aquarian women is their intuitiveness. Here is a woman who is constantly delving into the future and what it holds for her. This persistent attention is what likely sharpens her intuition. Some Aquarian women I have met are rather low on passion. Although their commitment to their love, work or a cause would be intense, they lack the driving force. In case of love, one can conclude that passion is absent, perhaps because of their feminist ideas. This may not be true for all, so you go explore your Aquarian. An Aquarian's feminism seeps into everyday life too. For instance, she would prefer doing small things like pulling up a chair for herself at a restaurant or opening the door. This can also come from her low patience level that makes her do things herself rather than wait for someone else to do it for her. 7 out of 10 Aquarian women I know are into animal welfare. It could be looking after stray dogs and providing them with a home or helping injured or suffering animals. I love this compassionate quality in them and wish more people could think and do the same way. How should one deal effectively with an Aquarius woman? I believe that the most effective way of dealing with an Aquarius woman is giving her what she wants the most: space. She would appreciate your efforts at letting her be and will in turn allow you to flourish in your personal space too. Show any signs of possessiveness or jealousy and you will end up talking to a wall. She abhors anyone doubting her commitment and would rather be alone than be with such a person. For that same reason, it is also advisable not to display emotions like suspicion and jealousy around this girl. She is wary of people who don't believe her or doubt her sincerity. On the business front, an Aquarian woman cannot be trusted implicitly. She might keep you confused by agreeing to most of your ideas but end up doing what she wants. So if you are in the midst of a business transaction with her, be on a lookout for ulterior motives. How does she handle money matters? Being extremely generous, she can be taken for a ride easily. A sob story from a family member or friend will quickly make her open her purse. She will take great pleasure in bailing out a friend in trouble, and the loss of money will be the least of her concerns at the time. But when it comes to business, she is extremely shrewd in money matters. Only when she is thoroughly convinced will she invest in a new idea or experiment. An Aquarian girl will always like to be known as a career woman, partly to be able to exercise her creative ability and partly for financial independence. Not one to share her bank account even with her husband, she will never ask for monetary favors from anyone. And if circumstances make her do that, be rest assured that she will spend sleepless nights till she has returned every penny she owes. How is she on the professional front? An Aquarius woman is responsible, responsive, as well as competitive, and has just the right amount of aggression to make her an achiever at work. Given her penchant for speech and her undying curiosity, an Aquarian woman makes for a good journalist. She's an ace at Q&As and interviews. She is also creative, which makes her do well in careers such as fashion designing and hairdressing. Also, her need to be abreast with new things makes her excel in fields like advertising and public relations. Since she is a travelholic, the airline industry is another good option for her. You may notice Aquarian women trying their hand at various professions. This stems from their need to prove themselves and also perhaps from their belief that they can do everything that a man can. How is she in various relationship roles? An Aquarian woman will be as friendly with you as a wife as she was as a girlfriend. Always remember, she prizes friendship above all relations. She looks for the same even in her relationship with her husband or boyfriend. You will find her ready to laugh at your boy jokes and accompany you on your beer bouts, just like the good old days of dating. And all this while she will take good care of your needs and look after your home too. An Aquarian female makes a good wife and a homemaker. She is loyal and faithful. Being full of energy, she makes for an interesting companion. There is rarely a dull moment with her around. But she will not be satisfied just within the realms of her home. Given her need for independence, she is likely to seek out a career for herself at the same time. An Aquarian woman might find it difficult to devote her entire time and attention towards her children. Just like while in love, she finds it complicated to give her time to one person only. But gradually, she realizes the benefits of being a responsible mother. Step by step, she will start looking at motherhood as an extension of her femininity. As a mother, she can be loving and caring, but she is not one to express herself by cuddling and petting her children all the time. She would prefer showing her love in more practical ways, like sending them to a good school and providing for their future. She is a good teacher and a patient listener, so kids find her comfortable to be around with. But it is in the role of a friend where an Aquarian woman excels the most. She holds her select yet quirky friends very close to her heart. She is generous and free with them. How is she when alone? Super confident and fiercely independent, the Aquarian female enjoys her own company to the hilt. She enjoys her me time and makes good use of it, taking time to relax and unwind. However, with her strong socializing nature, she mostly prefers being in the company of friends, lounging by the poolside, or hosting a nice barbecue get-together. How is she when she's in love? An Aquarian woman can be extremely emotional and sensitive. She's almost childish in her behavior and can be unforgiving on silly issues. But flowers, chocolates, gifts, and lot of flattery can undo everything at a speed you never could have imagined. Although she's emotional, she's also a novice at expressing her emotions. If your love interest is an Aquarian woman, you may have to teach her to emote and show her love. Don't take her lack of expression as stiff-necked pride. It's not that at all. She simply finds it difficult to put her heart out and express her love in words. She's the kind of person who will easily dismiss romantic ideas like holding hands and gazing into each other's eyes as silly. But at the same time, she will walk the extra mile just to be with you. For instance, cut short her meeting to keep her date with you. In spite of her confidence and independence, she's 100% woman within. She requires the warmth and comfort of a healthy relationship and the security of a dependable man. When in love, she means every word she says, and this remains true even when she falls out of love. So be prepared for her straightforwardness too. This girl doesn't believe in mincing words. If she walks up to you and says it's over, then it's over, and you have to behave intelligently about it. What does she look for in her partner? An Aquarian woman appreciates intelligence and independence in her partner. If you are planning to propose your Aquarian girlfriend, make sure you have proved your mettle on these accounts. Any hint of how much you have borrowed to buy the emerald ring in your pocket will send her flying down the road to Splitsville. She also dislikes emotionally needy people. She can give you a shoulder to cry on once in a while, but don't make that a habit or she might instantly turn a cold shoulder on you. And it is important to give her time. No Aquarian will rush into marriage. Commitment for her is for keeps, and so she is likely to spend considerable time to arrive at a decision. And she won't advance a step further till you have assured her that you are her best friend. But after having committed herself, she will ensure she is the ideal wife for you. She will give as much time and effort to her relationship as possible, but finds it difficult to make her world revolve around one single being. She has a host of friends and myriad activities to fill her time. Don't be upset if your Aquarian girlfriend is not with you 24/7, for she will have you on her mind most of the time. And it will do your relationship a world of good if you can respect her independence and devotion towards social causes as much. While in a steady relationship with her, both pre- and post-marriage, don't give her any reason to doubt you. If she smells a rat, it will be impossible to get her off your trail. Generally, she will trust you implicitly, and that's because she has her hands full with too many activities to indulge in detective play with you. But once she starts suspecting, there will be no end to her inquisitiveness. Like the Aquarian man, the Aquarian girl too is clumsy and awkward during moments of physical intimacy. Her innate lack of emotional display is a big hurdle for her, and the side effects of this can be seen in her body language too. At such a time, she needs the support of her man in terms of understanding, guidance, and love. While dating her, you should never be mushy. An Aquarian girl dislikes overt displays of emotion. So if you are the kind who wants to hear your girlfriend say "I love you" every day, steer away from an Aquarian. Like I explained before, she is emotional, but isn't good at displaying her emotions. Similarly, she would expect her date to be in control of his emotions too. And don't get too possessive. Getting possessive will make her claustrophobic and she will run far away from your presence. It is better to concentrate your energies in winning her heart rather than being her bodyguard. If you think your first date will lead up to a movie on the couch at your place, you couldn't be more wrong. Like her male counterpart, an Aquarian girl likes to move at a slow and steady pace. She will examine you before dating you and completely deconstruct you in her mind before moving on to something important. If she feels you're not the one for her, you will be shown the door without much ado. She doesn't believe in wasting time, energy, or emotions on something that is not likely to work out, and is also blatantly honest about it. She is proud of her femininity, but at the same time she has a strong desire to do everything herself. If you try to force down the fact that you are the one wearing the pants, she won't take it well at all. More likely, she will give you a dose of "if a man can, so can I" attitude of hers. Also, don't try to impress her with your flashy cars or Armani suits. Money is probably farthest from her mind when she's planning on dating someone. She will be suitably impressed with your display of wealth, even enjoy the associated benefits, but that is not enough to make her think of a long-term relationship. She will want more depth in her man. The best way to getting in her good books is by being her friend, in the real sense of the term. Treat your date with her as a friendly encounter over a cappuccino and add her favorite cookies to the table. Garnish all this with interesting tete-a-tete and let her get comfortable with you. Just be yourself and love will follow in good time. An Aquarian girl prefers a platonic relationship, at least initially, and you may feel that her passion quotient is slightly less, but she does not lack passion, and it's up to you to draw her out. For her, there is a thin line between love and friendship, and you will have to guide her one way or the other to help her decide. On an intellectual level, don't challenge her feminist views or argue with her over her involvement in social activities. She won't give up her true identity to be with you, and her individuality lies in her belief system, the people she befriends and the social causes she relates to. A last word of caution. If you are serious about seeing her after your first date, you have to learn to appreciate her good qualities. She likes a man who knows the value of her as a woman, and you should be friendly enough with her to let her chatter on, and man enough to know when to take matters in your hand. Compatibility Quotient. Compatibility with an Aquarian girl is more than just matching her zing factor. To be her partner, you have to understand her need for independence and her deep-rooted stand on feminism. However complicated she may appear, the mathematics of her life is quite simple. The man who wins her heart takes her home. Let's find out what is the compatibility quotient she shares with males of different signs in the zodiac. Aquarius Woman and Aries Man. 8 on 10. For once, the Aries man will have to let go of his position as the manager of things. The Aquarian girl will know exactly how to deal with the fiery Arian. She would know how to manage his anger and ego, while he would be delighted to infuse passion in this relationship. Her independent streak is likely to floor him completely. Taurus man. 6 on 10. This relationship is likely to start off well, but soon after a war of wills will be unavoidable. Add to that the disharmony between the conservative Taurian's view and the radical Aquarian's view, and there will be constant discontent. Gemini man. 9 on 10. An instant hit. The adventurous Gemini is a true match for the sociable Aquarian. Both value each other as friends, and their relationship will grow from strength to strength, thanks to their love for freedom and good conversation. Cancer man. 4 on 10. Long-term compatibility has slim chances of existing in this relationship. The Aquarian woman lacks the depth and heartwarming love that a Cancer man craves for. Leo man. 5 on 10. A difficult yet not impossible match. Both will have to make sincere efforts to make this relationship work. In short, the Leo man will have to think a little less about himself and more about her, while the Aquarian woman will have to think a little less about the world and more about him. Virgo man. 6 on 10. Once they know how to balance their outlook towards life, they can hit it off quite well. Since they have very little in common, they have to prepare a meeting ground for themselves. However, they do match up with each other on the ambition front. Libra man. 9.5 on 10. A brilliant match. Their relationship will make a great start with good amounts of love and friendship. He is intellectual enough to appeal to her, and she is spontaneous enough to suit him. This relationship is likely to be comfortable for both. Scorpio man. 6 on 10. An Aquarian girl will find it difficult to take his bossy attitude and the Scorpio man will not find it easy to accept her outgoing ways. He is way too possessive for her comfort, and this relationship is definitely not going to be an easy one for either of them. Sagittarius man, 9 on 10, an excellent pair. The Sagittarian man and Aquarian woman share an unmatched understanding of each other. He is creative and she is intelligent, and both are good at conversing. Capricorn man, 7 on 10. This match will demand too many compromises on both ends. If he tries to dominate her too much, there may be a tug-of-war between them over authority and freedom. Aquarius man, 8 on 10. Great chemistry. Since both share a lot in common, it is a match that can be an instant hit. But both will have to learn to curb their frivolous nature. Their independent outlook will help them forge a comfortable relationship. Pisces man, 4 on 10. They have too many opposite traits to reach a common ground. He is too emotionally dependent, while she desires absolute freedom. He seeks a warm and understanding partner, while she is too involved with her social activities to be with him 24/7. Famous Aquarian women personalities: Jennifer Aniston, Paris Hilton, Shakira, Oprah Winfrey, Preeti Zinta.